The alarm blares from my phone, waking me up once more. The tune of the alarm plays cheerfully, contradicting my gloomy morning mood. I force my lethargic self up, grabbing the phone and shutting off its alarm. The dark room, as always, invites me to stay and to continue sleeping. A sigh escapes from me as I force myself out of bed and to the nearby light switch. The light casts a blinding glow for a brief moment. I squint at it in disapproval. With that, I gather today's suit together. These are the steps that I have walked over and over, like some daily morning ritual. Even half asleep, I could repeat them with ease. I head into the kitchen where the aroma of coffee fills the air. A cup of coffee is ready for me. I'm so happy I bought this automatic coffee maker. Just set the time and presto, coffee when you need it. The sun is now peeking over the mountains in the distance, the morning birds chirping away. I stretch, trying to force myself to shake off any lingering sleepiness. With a glance at the time, I realize that it is time to head out the door. The crisp air hits my face as I jog to the car. I start the car in a haste and head to work. It is a simple desk job. Not exactly CEO, but it pays pretty well. It's nothing major, and it does pay for my expensive toys. The neighborhood is quiet. The drive past the familiar streets are so relaxing. Just as I take a sip of coffee, seemingly out of nowhere, a man steps out of the middle of the crosswalk. With a curse, I slam on my brakes as fast as I can, the coffee spilling out of my hands. Damn it! The hot liquid burning my lap. The man on the crosswalk stops. He didn't even flinch at nearly being hit. He just stands there, staring me down. Long, black, greasy, unkempt hair dangles down, covering most of his face. He has bags under his eyes as if he hadn't gotten sleep in a long time. His clothing is a rather weird mix, all in this monstrous tone. This, however, made his oddly colored eyes stand out more. One blue and the other green, kind of like those dogs you see. The pain from the scalding hot coffee combined with a blank stare from the man's face angers me. I stroll down my window, rage written all over my face. Move out of the way, you stupid punk kid, honking my horn repeatedly. He stares for a moment longer. His eyes looked on me intensely. I could feel the hair on the back of my neck stand up. His stare making me uncomfortable. He moves out of the way in a eerily undisturbed manner, as if not touching the ground. Not once did he look away from me. I stared, slightly petrified, but that was quickly changed into anger. I stomped down on my gas pedal, burning out. Hopefully that frightened the punk. I can still feel him staring me down, that look burning into the back of my mind. I arrive at work later than normal. Rushing to the nearest bathroom, I inspect the damage from the coffee. Of course, enough of the coffee had spilled on me to stain my shirt. I'll have to change after the meeting. The morning goes by slowly. Despite the office being in such a frantic, rushed mood, only a few people point out the stain. Lucky for me, most ignore it. Once the meeting was over, I rushed straight to my car. I walked past a window for the elevator, but stopped to glance at my car. I swear I saw someone standing by my car. I only got a glance, but once I reached my car, I could see no sign of anyone. I pushed the thought away and quickly headed home to change. After switching clothes, I figured it's about time to get lunch. I grabbed a quick and go from a convenience store nearby. Once back at work, I made my way to the top floor of the building to eat. Since I went home to change, I didn't have the time to relax and eat. "Hey, nice lunch you got there," a co-worker, James, called, gesturing if a seat was taken. I shake my head. Yeah, I have to hurry back soon. Looking at the small meal in front of me, I have a nice view from up above. I could see my car from where I am. I take another bite of my meal and, out of the corner of my eye, I see it again. Someone down below is near my car. I shot up, scanning the area nearby. Did he duck into the bushes? "Hey James, did you see that?" He looks at me as if I'm insane. "See what?" James replied with a mouthful of food. "By my car. Someone was there, right?" I point at my car, but James just shrugs and shakes his head. "I'm sure I saw someone this time." The day continues on. I periodically check my car and the surrounding area, but no one is there. Maybe I'm truly just seeing things. I ask a few co-workers and security whether they may have seen anything out of the ordinary, but they too didn't see anything. I decided to let it go. Clearly, the stress of work has gotten to me. The drive home was a rather peaceful one. The dark night cool and calming. Before I realized it, I was back home. I pulled into my driveway, the hum of my car engine making the only noise. I turn off the car and get out. I feel exhausted from the long work day. I drag my feet to the front door. As I shuffle my keys in my hands, I hear a rustle to the left of me. Catching my full attention, I pause for a moment, letting the silence fill my ears. Now feeling wide awake, I search for the source of the noise. Did I imagine this? Or was there some kind of raccoon nearby? I hold my breath, peering into the darkness. Nothing. No other sound follows. Maybe I just need sleep. Yeah, that's it. And yet, I feel oddly uncomfortable, as if something is watching me. Even when I get inside my home, the feeling never dwindles. Like some animal in a glass case, a pair of eyes on me. I decide to go to bed. No point in staying up. I had neatly taken off my suit and changed for bed. Once everything is prepared for work for tomorrow, I gratefully hop into my warm, inviting bed, and it does not take too long for me to doze off, all the stress slowly melting away into dreams. In my half-asleep state, I am suddenly woken up by a noise. In my half-asleep state, I search my room for a clue to what is going on. The same feeling of eyes watching me engulfs me. I grab my phone in a hurry and flip on the flashlight. I scan every corner but see nothing. With that, I jump out of bed and switch my light on. Nothing looks off or out of place. I sigh, feeling foolish. But then I hear it, a very soft, rhythmic noise calling for my attention. I creak open my bedroom door, being cautious of any noises. The light floods into the hallway. I move cautiously to where I hear the rhythmic noise. Once I reach the hallway light switch, I turn it on, as if to chase away the uneasy feeling I have. If anyone is here, you had better leave. I do not take kindly to strangers. I called out, hoping to scare off anything close by. I make my way to the kitchen, where the noise is emanating from. I round the corner fast, hoping to catch the noisemaker off guard. A glow of red greets me, and something sharp stabs into my foot. I growl in pain and shock, nearly falling back. I flip on the light and see that my coffee maker is on. What? What time is it? Checking a clock, it's the middle of the night. Why would my coffee maker start up now? I don't have it set for at least another few hours. On the floor, a scattered mess of glass lays there. How the hell did this happen? Someone must have broken in. I scan the rest of my house in a hurry, but nobody's here but me. No sign of forced entry, no open windows, nothing at all. But someone is still watching me. I just know it. That feeling never went away. I try to go back to sleep, but I am unsuccessful. I feel that if I stay awake, I'll be safe. Not that it helps, this feeling of being watched. The next day at work, everyone could tell that I was acting off. I kept looking outside, checking my car. I'm being stalked. I couldn't concentrate on work. The lack of sleep is getting to me. I would snap at every stupid little question. Why am I so worked up? With the exception of the glass, there was no harm done at all. And yet, in my mind, I know that something is up. Hey, someone called out to me, but I was so lost in thought that it's barely audible. Hey, focus. the voice says again. It did not break my thoughts. Then, an idea finally hits me. Security tapes. Suddenly, a hand reaches out and grabs my shoulder roughly. I swing around, not thinking at all. I slam my elbow hard into the person behind me. The loudest crack echoes out throughout the office. All the buzzing noises comes to a complete stop. A young woman lies on the ground, clutching her face in pain, blood leaking past her hands that cover her face. I am mortified. I just froze there. "What did you do?" one of my coworkers yells, rushing over to the injured woman. It was an honest mistake, I swear." I wave my hands up in surrender. A few people help her up and downstairs to the lobby. I wasn't sure what to do. I've lost it. "Could you follow me to my office?" I look over and see my boss, my heart sinking in my chest. We make our way swiftly to the office, the door shutting behind us. "Listen, I've noticed you've been acting weird. I don't think you should be here right now. With the higher-ups coming in any day now, I can't have you like this." Shaking his head in disappointment. "No, listen. Someone has been stalking me. If we can just get the security footage, I can prove it." My boss sits there calmly thinking it over. "All right. I will have security pull up yesterday's footage. However, after what's been going on, I think it is best if you take some time off. It is apparent this stress has gotten to you." My boss crosses his arms. "But it's not. I swear, it's this person. I'll show you." Standing to my feet, I begin to exit the office. "Fine. Have you called the police about this?" I give him a blank stare. "Well, no. I don't have any proof yet." We are both silent on our way to security. Once there, I explain the situation, and they pull up the tapes. However, my car is just barely out of sight of the camera, and no other camera finds anything. At most, there was a blur of something on the footage. I pointed it out. It seemed to move from spot to spot, but they all dismissed it. I refuse to give up on it and get into a shouting match with one of the security people. This resulted in me being escorted out of the building. I'm fuming. I know that man is following me. I just needed the evidence. I got the bright idea to get some security cameras for my house. I spent a good sum of my saved up money to get the security camera with the night vision. Once home, I promptly installed them. Most of the cameras went outside. However, I did have two inside, one facing the front door, and the other in my bedroom facing the window. My phone rings at odd times during the day. I refuse to answer it, putting it on silent. I must remain quiet. Any noise could distract me. My eyes glued to the screen monitors, tracking every slight movement. The only time I would move would be for a cup of coffee. I am not going to sleep tonight. Not until I prove that he's here. Everything outside is still. There would occasionally be a flutter of birds that would shake the foliage, but that was it. With night soon approaching, I needed to think of what my next course of action would be. Should I keep the lights off? Maybe I can lure this person in. On the other hand, maybe I could turn on my bedroom light, and that would trick the intruder. I settled on the idea of hiding in a corner of my bedroom. I would keep the monitor on a low light to avoid being detected. The room grows darker by the second, but my eyes stay glued to the screen. I know I can catch him. There's no way he can avoid me now. Time goes by in a blur. All the caffeine in the coffee drinks makes me shake in extreme excitement. The monitor in my cold hands is no longer still. I couldn't sleep. I have to make sure I catch him. The air in the room seems to have gotten colder, but I can't move away. I refuse to grab a blanket or a sweater. Any movement could alert him to where I am, and I have to have the upper hand. Finally, however, I just could not take it anymore. It is not supposed to be this cold. It is only the end of summer, and I turned my AC off. So why is it so bloody cold? Either way, with all the coffee I've had to drink, I needed to use the bathroom. If I make it quick and keep the lights off, I'm sure I'll be fine. I set the monitor down. My hands are stiff from holding it for so long. Then I got the brilliant idea to crawl there. I would be less noticeable that way. Sure enough, I go crawling along. I blindly find my way to the bathroom. I close the door so slow that I could barely hear it myself. Do I dare turn on the lights? No, I have to remain in the dark. This means more blind attempts. I move along, feeling like every second in that ever-darkened room is a poor choice. I swear I could feel someone there, or something breathing on me. I have to hurry. My mind is getting to me. I walk back to the door, something moving to the left of me. I freeze, and so does it. What do I do? I can feel my heart pounding heavy in my chest. Even in this dark room, the light casting from the doorway is enough to spot whatever it is. I slowly move my head to the left, my breathing becoming heavy and harsh. A chill runs up my spine. Was my body shaking from the coffee? Or am I just that scared? I hold my breath, the thing moving as I did. I froze for a brief moment, my hand moving along the wall as quiet as I can be. With a flash, I quickly turn on the lights, blinding myself doing so. I stare directly into a pair of eyes. My eyes. I sigh in both relief and foolishness. The mirror. Of course, the mirror. How could I be so stupid? And then it dawns on me. I had turned on my light, giving away where I'm at. I hiss and turn off the light quickly. I then proceed to do the same steps as before and crawl back to my safe corner. I grab the monitor, peering intensely at the screen. Nothing still. I would need to go back and check those last few moments. I went back to my route, watching for any movement in the cameras. My eyes not once leaving the screen. Still cold as ever in this room, but there was no way I was moving this time. I squint, opening my eyes, my neck stiff and aching. I scan the bright room. What time is it? The sudden realization of what that question actually means. What time is it? Pulling up the fallen monitor that lies in my legs, the screen reads 12:26 p.m. Oh my God! How long was I out? I shuffle through the cameras, scanning each one very closely. All of them are empty. Nothing seems to be out of the ordinary. I sigh and pull myself up from off the floor. My body screams and aches in pain. Sleeping in that corner is less than satisfaction compared to my cloud-like bed. I decide to leave the monitors for a moment. I take a quick scan of the house, making sure that no new things have happened while I was knocked out. After checking at least 3 times, nothing at all is out of place. No broken glass, no random coffee making itself either. Everything seems to be in place. I feel calm now, though I should check the footage for the last few hours from when I was sleeping. I move back to the room where I left the monitor. A wave of cold air hits me, making me shiver. Strange. Why is it so cold in here? I wrap my arms around myself. I make a note to grab a blanket. I curl up back into the corner. I fumble with the settings of the security equipment and rewind the past night. It's difficult to tell exactly when I fell asleep. I know for sure I must have been awake around 1 a.m. I start from there, scanning the speeding screens. The bushes around my house are the only things moving, their leaves swaying in the occasional wind. 5 a.m. and nothing so far. I feel anger begin to bubble up. I glance away to my surroundings, pondering if there's anything else I can do. I glance back at the monitor and stare in disbelief. I only took my eyes off the screen for a second, but in that instant, the little timer at the bottom went from 5 a.m. to sunrise. Maybe I didn't realize how fast the speed was. I rewind the footage again, going back to the 5 a.m. slot. Again, the time jumps randomly in a second. Frustrated, I stop the footage, and once more, I go back to 5 a.m. I play the footage slowly, staring at all the different angles. Nothing at all appears out of the ordinary. I glance at the monitor, grasping tightly at its frame. The time jumps. I refuse to believe this thing is glitching. I go back once more, over and over. Finally, I play the speed at half-time, peering intensely at the screens. Out of the corner of the east side of the house, a blur appears for about a second before it jumps. That jerk! He must be using some kind of a jammer thing. Anger and other emotions bubbling up with intensity. I stormed to my closet in a fit of rage, grabbing anything I could swing with and do some heavy damage with. I stomp out of the house, going over to the area where the camera hung. I don't know what I expected to accomplish. Nothing out here looks different. Maybe I had hoped to find footprints, or anything. The sound of the hose dripping from the back of the house burns into my mind. Another rhythmic chant, another taunt. I'm at my limit. This is all too aggravating. I scream out, smashing the side of my house repeatedly with the object in my hands, until the object breaks into tiny little pieces. I mumble to myself, stomping back inside my house. Whoever this person is must be very entertained by my reactions. Or maybe they will finally take a hint and leave. I lay down on the floor, exhausted, letting all the anger seep out of me as if I were melting away. I have no clue how long I laid there, but some loud banging at my front door interrupts me. I glare at the door, pondering if it is the person who has been stalking me. I slide over and grab a heavy small object to defend myself. There's another loud bang at the door. I stand up, making no noise as I approach the door. I can feel my heart begin to race. The waiting anticipation about who is at my door. There's one more knock, louder this time as I draw close. I hide the object behind my back, and I take a deep breath. I rip open the door with great speed, hoping that my stealth is enough to catch the person off guard. The hinges squeak loudly, and I am faced with a gun to me. I freeze, looking at the gun aiming at me. Hands where I can see them. The blue outfit is a clear indicator that I had made the wrong choice. I do as I'm told, raising my hands up, facing the older police officer. As quickly as I could, I blurted out my current situation, letting him know everything. Even going as far as showing him the footage. By some dumb luck, he dismisses my outburst, but explains that there's nothing they can do but have someone patrol the area. I keep my cool this time, not trying to get myself arrested. The officer takes his leave. Why doesn't anyone believe me? I start pacing the dining room, when finally the idea hits me. If I were to leave somewhere more flexible, someplace where he can't follow. With great speed I gather things together, packing them into my car. I sold a good amount of my things and pulled all of the money from my accounts. I have two choices: get an RV or get a boat. The idea of a boat appeals to me more. I want to sail far, far away from this annoying presence and finally be safe. After some searching, I found a good-sized one. If anything, a week out at sea would give me time to relax. I first go back to my house. I gather 2 of the cameras and the monitor. I will leave the rest there. Who knows? Maybe they'll pick up something. And then I'll finally have some proof. But right now, I just need to get away. This person is trying to break me, make me lose my mind. But I won't let him. I pack up some clothes and dash out for the boat. The feeling of being watched dissolves away as my house fades in the distance of my mirror. I exhale, finally relaxing and feeling freedom again. I take my time going to the docks, letting myself take in the scenery around me. I near the dock, picking a cabin that would fit in both price and room. It's perfect. I take no time in sailing away. The monitor buzzing loudly. Oddly enough, it's calming me down. With the land slowly disappearing behind me, I finally let out all that stress that had been bottling up. I stop at a good area and distance. While I am glad to escape, I'm not too fond about being too far out in the open sea. The waves gently rock the boat, the air cooling my skin. I feel so amazing. I take a moment to set up the only 2 cameras I have. I doubt I'll need them, but they do offer some comfort. I don't bother unpacking for now. My body aches for some rest. And with the waves rocking the boat, I couldn't help but drift asleep. I wake up to a shuffle of noises. I peer in the dark cavern, wondering if I'm just hearing things. I shrug it off, but decide to check the monitor. I feel so tired, my eyes barely staying open. I check the first feed. Nothing but darkness. I check the second, and nearly jump out of my skin. A pale face staring straight into the camera. He places a single finger over his lips, gesturing to be silent, and then the camera cuts off. I'm petrified, unable to move from my spot. Did I just imagine that? Could I be dreaming? No way. I take a quick inhale, and think on what to do. I didn't pack much, nothing to defend myself with, and there's nowhere where I can run. I grab the monitor, the only option I have. I creak onto the floor, avoiding making too much noise. I navigate the dark cabin, moving to the exit, and prepare my weapon. I peer up into the open sky, my heart beating 1,000 miles per hour. I take a step forward, the eerie silence filling the air. A loud crash emerging from behind me makes me jump forward automatically. My foot steps down and it slips from under me. I slam into the jagged surface and my vision goes dark. I awake once more, the pain in my head pulsating over and over. My vision slowly focuses to the sky. I wince, turning my head to the right. A pair of mismatched eyes facing mine. A smile forming on the man's face. I glance in anger. It's him, the one that's been driving me insane. He laughs at my reaction, struggling with something in his hands. You! What's so funny? You are. With a quick movement, he lets go of something in his hand, a metal pipe gleaming in the other. I go to attack him, but something harshly yanks at my neck, choking and pulling me to the other end of the boat. I desperately grab onto anything, stopping me from getting pulled into the water. He smiled, watching me struggle to free the bonds around my neck. He fiddles with something, ignoring me for a moment. And then I hear the jiggling of something metal, like clashing together, followed by the sounds of keys being placed into the boat. I choked out, trying to get him to stop. Airflow being slowly cut off by each passing second. He turns his attention back to me, his hand on the ignition, ready to turn the key. "Say hi to my sister for me," he laughs out loud. The key turning the boat on, the familiar buzz of a monitor starting behind me. The force of the rope on my neck yanks me away, the monitor growing louder. I struggle to grab another thing, anything desperately, crying for help until